All right, here we go, the final review. After today's review session in class, you probably don't even feel like you need this one, but if you do want a little blankie, here's your pig dissection. We investigated a handful of different systems when we did our pig dissection. We'll just talk about respiratory, digestive, and reproductive for starters. So the respiratory system, takes in oxygen and gets rid of CO2. So even though the circulatory system is responsible for transporting that oxygen and that CO2, it's the job of the respiratory system to obtain it in the first place and get rid of it. It is the role of the digestive system to break down food and to release the nutrients into small forms that can be absorbed into the bloodstream that your body's cells will use as energy. The last stages of digestion is that absorption of nutrients and then elimination of waste. And then finally, reproductive system's job is to produce offspring. So we talked about a couple different structures related to that. So let's see. Down here in the pig, we have the reproductive system, right? So the male or the female we'll talk about in another slide. Up here we have the digestive system. And then the respiratory system we kind of don't see because it's behind the chest wall here. But those are the three we're talking about right now. Food moves through the digestive system via peristalsis. So this is peristalsis here. So it's a wave-like contraction of smooth muscle that's going to push food or a bolus or chyme, depending on the stage of the digestion, through the system. I think this picture over here is a really cool picture. It shows you a number of things. It shows you the trachea. It shows you the bronchi branching there, and it also shows you the very small bronchioles, the little divisions, and then each of the bronchioles in an alveoli, little grape-like structures. But those are your air sacs, and that's where the gas exchange takes place. Underneath the liver, I think I have this on another picture, you have the gallbladder, and that's where bile is made. And we can also see down here the external nares of the pig's nose. The small intestine is divided into three sections. This blue section here is the duodenum. That's the first section. And then I kind of did my circle a little bit big. The middle section is the jejunum, and the bottom section is the ileum. So you're going to want to know that that first section of the small intestine is the duodenum. So food will travel through your mouth into your pharynx and down your esophagus. The esophagus will take that then to your stomach. A couple other terms that are on here. We have the cervix. The cervix is the entrance to the uterus. So a lot of people got that wrong on our pig dissection test. A lot of people wanted to say vagina, but the entrance to the uterus is the cervix. So just a minute ago we were talking about the gallbladder. The gallbladder is what stores bile. Bile is made in the liver, this larger structure out here, but then it's stored in the gallbladder where it's then released into the stomach to break down fats. In the mouth you have the hard palate, the soft palate, and then the throat is the pharynx, so the cavity at the back of the mouth. Down here we have the female reproductive system. We have the ovaries, these little bean-shaped things on the end, and then this squirrely business that kind of looks like ramen noodles. This is the fallopian tubes or oviducts. Then they'll empty into the uterus, so that pocket right there is the uterus. In this picture I can also see the bladder, and I can see the umbilical arteries. Analogous to the female's reproductive structure, the testes is much like the ovary in that it produces the male gametes. It produces sperm, whereas the ovaries produce the eggs. It also kind of looks like a little ovary. In this picture, you can see the epididymis. Letter B is the epididymis, so that surrounds it. The vas deferens is kind of like the fallopian tubes. The fallopian tubes carry eggs, and then the vas deferens carry the sperm, so they're analogous structures. In this picture, you can also see the male penis, not to be confused with the urethra, which is lying behind it. The female structure, the urethra coming off of the bladder, the vagina coming off of the uterus, combine together to form the urogenital sinus. So that's at the posterior end of the body, and that's unique to the pig compared to the humans. The humans only have, or the humans have two openings, one for each the vagina and the urethra, but the pigs have just one opening. So that's about it. Oh, the ureters. The ureters are going to come off of the kidneys. Here's a kidney here. I don't have a really good picture of the ureters that I can see, but the job of the ureter, you know, is to take urine from the kidneys and take it down into the bladder where it's stored, and then it'll exit the body through the urethra, whether it's male or female. And that's it for the pig dissection. So you should be all ready for your final exam on Friday. Good luck. I can't wait to see how you do.